All right, let's just jump right in. For as long as we can remember, layoffs have just been this painful part of business, right? It's expensive, it's messy, it damages the brand. It's just seen as a write-off. But what if we've been looking at this all wrong?
And that's really the core question here. I mean, what if a layoff, this thing we see as pure loss, could actually be turned into a measurable win? And I'm talking a win for everybody, the company, the folks affected, even the whole community. Yeah, it sounds a little out there, I know, but it's the central idea behind this new model we're about to unpack.
So this is the big mental shift. You've got the old way, right? Layoffs are just a sunk cost. You cut the checks, cross your fingers, and then you just deal with the mess. But this new view, the one EmpowerForge is built on, it looks at that exact same moment and sees something completely different. It sees an opportunity, a real chance to create positive, measurable impact.
But, before we can really appreciate how powerful this new approach is, we have to get real about the old way. We have to be totally honest about what a layoff actually costs. Because, believe me, it goes so much deeper than just some number on a spreadsheet.
First things first, knowledge walks out the door. I mean, think about it. When a person leaves all of that institutional memory, all those skills, those relationships they built over years, poof, it's just gone. And that's a kind of loss that's really, really hard to put a number on. But man, you can feel it. And that brain drain, it has a direct knock-on effect. Your innovation just stops, or at least it slows to a crawl. And it's simple, right? The people who were closest to the real problems, the ones who had those practical, hey, what if we tried this ideas, they're gone. Your whole creative engine just stalls out.
And then, of course, there's the public side of things. Let's be real, in the age of Glassdoor and LinkedIn, reputation damage isn't some slow burn anymore. It's an explosion. It happens fast, and it really, really hurts. Your whole brand perception can flip, like, overnight.
So you start adding it all up, and what do you get? It's a cascade. You lose knowledge, your remaining teams get anxious, innovation stalls, your brand takes a hit, and all of that leads to this huge critical problem for any company today, a massive hole where your ESG data should be. And that's the data that investors, customers, everyone is starting to demand. Okay, so the problem is big, it's messy, it's expensive. Got it. But what if the answer wasn't just trying to, do damage control? What if we could take this whole broken playbook and just flip it completely on its head? Well, that's where EmpowerForge comes in. At its core, it's a system that's designed to do three things and do them really well. 1, redeploy that talent you just had to let go. 2, measure the actual outcomes of what they're doing. And 3, capture all those brilliant ideas that would have otherwise just vanished. It really is that simple. It all comes down to these 3 words: redeploy, measure, capture. And look, this isn't just some catchy slogan. It's the actual logic of the whole system. It's about taking something that's always been negative and turning it into a structured, positive process. Okay, so that sounds good in theory, but how does it actually work? Let's break down the 4 steps that make this whole thing real and, more importantly, totally doable. This isn't just an idea, it's a practical playbook. And you know what? The process is actually pretty straightforward. Step 1 is intake and match. You take the employees who've been affected and match them with short-term projects at nonprofits where their skills are a perfect fit. Step 2 is track and prove. This is key. Every single hour, every outcome, it all gets logged on a live dashboard. So you're turning good intentions into hard, verifiable data. Then you have step 3, capture ideas. As people are out there working, they file these things called HipTips, basically valuable insights from the front lines. This creates a whole new pipeline for innovation. And finally, step 4, keeping the alumni warm. These folks stay connected, they stay engaged, which creates this amazing talent pool that's ready to boomerang back when you're hiring again. All right, now we get to the part that makes this so compelling for any business leader. The proof is in the numbers. This isn't just about feeling good, okay? This is about creating cold, hard, auditable value that you can actually report. So you might be asking, how on earth do you put a dollar value on this? Well, the whole financial model hinges on one single crucial number, $38.74. What is that? That's the official third-party verified value of a single hour of volunteer time in Colorado for 2024. This isn't a made-up number. It's the key that makes the entire impact audible. Okay, so let's run the numbers. Let's imagine a small pilot program in Denver. You have 10 people, they each work 20 hours a week for just 4 weeks.
You take those hours, multiply them by that state rate, 38.74, and boom, you've just generated over $31,000 in auditable community value. It's really that simple. And what's cool is that value scales right along with the commitment. So at 20 hours a week, you're looking at over 30 grand. Bump that up to 30 hours a week, and suddenly it's over $46,000. These are real, tangible numbers that you can plug right into your ESG reports and your community impact statements. So let's circle back to what the company gets out of all this. It boils down to 4 huge benefits. First, you get brand protection with the receipts to back it up. That live dashboard of positive impact. Second, you get ESG data that's actually defensible, not just fluff. Third, you build a warm bench of former employees who are ready to come back. And fourth, you get that incredible pipeline of new ideas from the HipTips. Okay, so the model works, the numbers are solid, so the only question left is, why does this matter right now? Seriously, why is this so critical at this very moment in time? What makes this something that can't just be put on the back burner? It's because the pressure is on, and it's coming from literally every direction. You've got regulators, you've got investors, you've got your own employees. And they're all demanding better, faster, more credible data on your impact. Just saying we care doesn't cut it anymore. They want to see the proof. And EmpowerForge is built to fill that exact gap. So that brings us to how you can actually get involved. We're launching pilot cohorts in Denver, and there are really 3 groups we're talking to. First, if you're an employer and you're navigating a layoff, this is for you. Second, if you're a nonprofit that could use some amazing skilled support for a project, this is absolutely for you. And third, if you're an HR pro who's in transition and wants to stay sharp and connected, this is for you too. You know, when you boil it all down, it really comes back to this one idea. Layoffs do not have to be write-offs. The end of one chapter can be the start of something genuinely better for everyone. Look, the question isn't whether layoffs cause loss. We all know they do. The real question now is, do we have the vision, the courage, to take that moment of loss and deliberately turn it into a measurable win?